You guys doing? Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be here because I was like literally in these tables like 2 years ago. So it's just so interesting to be back, and I was just here the other day too. So I'm just really honored and excited to talk to you guys today. How was your day? How's you guys' day today? Pretty good?
Come on, Tigers, answer.
So what we're going to talk about today is basically we're going to talk about purity. Does anybody know what purity means? Basically, purity means to have a clean and a pure heart developing every single day of your life. And so that means having good thoughts, having thoughts of, righteousness focused in life, and you're just allowing life to be good to you rather than always control you, but you're kind of controlling your life and you're controlling what comes to you. In school, in the hallways of the school, you're like, you could be anxious, you could be like worried about this next test that's coming up. There are a lot of things to be worried about in life, but it's like we have to make sure that we are controlling those things and not allowing it to control us. I'm just going to give you a backstory of kind of my lifestyle, kind of where I started. So basically, I was riding in the car with my mom one day. This is my beautiful mother. Yay. Clap for her. She's amazing. So I was riding in the car with my mom one day, and I was like, yo, Ma, I'm having sex when I get to college. It's going down. It's happening. Right? Isn't that crazy? Isn't it crazy, right? But I love my mom so much, and we're literally like best friends. So I was just, I was like, I'm just gonna be honest. And I was like, everybody else is doing it, and I don't care. I'm just letting loose. And literally, all she asked me was why. She literally asked me the question why. And I was like, I don't know. I literally said, because everybody else is doing it. And that's basically the only reason I had to give her. And so from that moment, I literally decided to devote my life to purity. And at the time, I thought it just meant virginity and just saving myself until marriage. But then I realized it's so much more and it's so much deeper. So today what I want to do is I just want to give you guys kind of what my lifestyle looks like and how you guys can also live it out, because it's literally the best thing ever, because it's allowed me to grow as a person. It's allowed me to find my purpose and find my destiny and why I'm here on earth. What we're going to do is we're going to write purity. So basically, and ignore my beautiful artistic skills. So purity, it begins with your heart. So it begins in a place where your heart is making decisions. So we have these decisions to make in our day-to-day, and we have these choices that we have, whether it's relationships, whether it's friendships, whatever that looks like, whether it's a test. And so I always like to say that wherever your heart is, that will flow everything that you do. So that don't work. So out of your heart is your mind, your body, and your soul. Wouldn't you guys agree? So everything that is in your heart, you're thinking things every day, that's coming from your heart. Your physical body, whatever you do with that begins with your heart. And then your soul is your perception, like how you see life, how you treat people. That's also going to come out, but it begins with your heart. And so when I realized this, I thought about my mind, and I said, with my mind are my thoughts, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeding people every single day. Those are my thoughts. My body is how I perceive my mind. Whatever I'm doing with my body is how I perceive my mind. And so then, with my soul, the perception of my heart. So with these three things, it begins in your heart. And it begins from a place of your heart posture. And so the name of my workbook, I wrote a book at 18, so last year. The name of my book is The Purity Posture. All of this is about today is about the posture of your heart and what that looks like every single day. What that looks like when you're in the hallways of your school. What that looks like when you're speaking to your teachers or to your friends. In your relationships even. So whatever is in your heart is gonna flow. So I have one question for you guys, and I need you all to raise your hand if this applies to you. How many of you have been shopping on Amazon or Walmart or Forever 21 or Finish Line? Raise your hands. Okay, so that's pretty much everybody. That's pretty much all of us. So if you've ever been on one of these websites that's like, I gotta get my sister something for her birthday, or I gotta get my mom something, my friends, it's Valentine's Day coming up, y'all better not have boyfriends and girlfriends, and I'm sure y'all do. But usually, you have to go through this process in order to get this package. You have to go through this process in order to actually get what you've been looking for. And so it really, when I was studying this, I was like, this applies to purity so much. So, what's the first thing that you need to do when you're on Amazon, when you're looking for that gift, when you're looking for that Valentine's Day thing for your boo? What is that first thing that you actually have to do? Like when you're actually on the website, what are you doing? What are you doing with your eyes? You're looking. So you're looking for this item. You're looking for something. So what's that second thing that you're doing? You have to what? You have to make a decision as to if you're going to get the thing that you're looking for, right? You have to say, do I want this? Like, is this thing, worthy of my money? Is this worthy of my payment that I'm about to make? And so you have to make a decision. So, check mark. You're like, I'm going to get the big teddy bear for my girlfriend. And then, what's next? After you make a decision, you have to what?
Add it in the cart.
Add in the cart, okay, or pay. You have to pay for that thing that you're about to get. So, cha-ching, money, you're like, shoot, I really don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway because I love my boyfriend or girlfriend. And then, it has to come from a source. And so what we're going to do is we're going to draw a world. It has to come from somewhere. And this is just laying the foundation. Don't worry, it'll get better. After you buy it, source, after you buy that thing, it has to go through this process. Now this process takes about 5 to 7 business days, and you're like, I am not trying to wait that long. So you're like, Amazon Prime, come through for me. So, process. That's the next thing that has to happen in order for you to get this package. After the process, it's time for you to pick up. So it's time for you to actually go to your mailbox. It's time for you to go to your doorstep and say, you know what? My package is here and I'm really excited. Yay, right? So pick up. So what does all of this even mean? This is like really bad. This is a really bad drawing. But what does all of this mean and how does it pertain to purity? How does this relate? So with the posture of your heart, and when it comes to purity, it's usually this process that you have to go through in order to receive this package, which I call the promise. So in life, the promise and that thing that we're trying to get to is purpose at the end of our journey. We all want to figure out and we all want to find why we're here on earth, why we're going to school, why we have these 9-to-5 jobs. We all have this thing that we have that we're trying to figure out. And so for me, that thing has been purity, and I've been trying to figure out, like, how do I live this pure lifestyle, not only for myself, but for other people? How do I allow other people to grow on my journey? How do I allow other people to develop while I'm, trying to figure it all out on my own? And so with your mind, everything that you're thinking, everything that you're doing, it has to be in purity. You have to make sure that the people that you're talking to, the people that you're surrounding yourself around, are allowing you to grow in a way that you've never grown before. And so the people around me in my life, I have friendships that are fruitful. I have friendships that are going to allow me to grow. I have friendships that are not going to allow me to be stagnant on my journey. But I have literally, since I cut those people out of my life that have not been adding to me, I have grown so much. I've been on more stages, I've been traveling, and so it's like once you allow your mind to kind of resonate with your heart and your soul and your body, your physical body, it will allow you to grow in ways that you never even thought of. And so that's kind of why we're talking about the mind, body, and soul, because everything that is in your mind, your body, and your soul will flow out from your heart. But you have to check your heart. You have to kind of do a heart check and see, like, what's wrong with me? Where are my faults? Where are my downfalls? We like to point fingers and we like to say everybody else is wrong. Everybody else has done this to me, but what about you? And I like to do that every single day. I like to say, you know what? What's wrong with me? What have I done to somebody else today that has, made somebody upset or made somebody mad? And I always love to check my heart. You have to check your heart, always. And so when you're looking, in life we're looking for something. You're looking for purpose. You're looking for relationships, you're looking for your destiny, you're looking for better friends, you're looking for a new sport to play. We're always looking for new things and we're always developing in life. So when you're looking for that thing, you have to make sure, you have to go back and check your heart and say, is this thing that I'm looking for coming from a place of purity? Is it coming from a place of goodness and righteousness, and is it going to allow me to grow? So you have to ask yourself that question. It's like looking for that package. Well, on Amazon, it will determine that promise. It will determine when you pick that thing up, that's what's going to determine what you're looking for. And so the first thing that you do in life when you're looking for your purpose, when you're looking to see, who I should get in a relationship with, you have to ask yourself this question: is it worth it? Is it going to add to my lifestyle? And so that's where you have to make a decision. That's where you have to say, you know what? I'm going to either pursue this relationship, I'm going to pursue this friendship, and I'm going to entertain this level of intimacy. You have to ask yourself these questions so that you don't end up somewhere where you never wanted to be. And so after you make that decision in life, whatever that looks like for you, you know exactly what that thing is. Whatever responses that you're responding to with your parents, to your teachers, like whatever that looks like, you have a decision to make. And then it's coming from somewhere. So your package is coming from a source. What is that source in life, and how does that apply to our life? That source is whatever you believe in. That source is whatever you're looking at every day. That source is whatever you are interested in. So you have to make sure that your source is coming from a pure place, that it's always going back to your heart and saying, what is flowing out of my heart today? What is flowing out of my soul, my mind, my body, and my spirit? Because that's what's going to determine your source. And so with Amazon, it's like, how sometimes you'll go on Walmart and then you'll go on Amazon and they'll have the same thing for much more money, and you're like, okay, y'all really scamming me right now. So it's like, sometimes the source, it will look credible when it's really like ratchet. It's really like, you know what? This is not good and I need to go to a different source. And so you have to ask yourself in life, what are your sources? What is your heart flowing from? What are you looking at? What are you listening to every day? I mean, like Love and Hip Hop and like, I don't know, Kim, the Kardashians and like the Bad Girls Club, like whatever you guys watch, you have to make sure that it's actually adding to your heart, that it's adding to this place of purity, that it's adding to your soul and your body and your spirit, so that you can grow as an individual, so that you can grow as a person. And so you're looking at your source and you're asking yourself, is everything that I'm doing coming from a pure place? Is it coming from that childhood hurt that I never dealt with? Is it coming from the neglect that my parents, or the love that my parents failed to give me? You have to ask yourself, where are these things coming from? That's the source. And then the process, you have to go through the process. Now, this is where people usually quit in life. They're like, you know what, I forget it, I'm never going to find my purpose. I'm never going to find out why I'm loved, why I'm here on earth. So they give up right at the process. And they're like, I don't feel like doing this because it could take 5 to 7 business days, or it could take eternity for me to get this package because Amazon be slow. So it's like, are you willing to wait in this process, in this place of, frustration, in this place where you're like, okay, do I really want to wait for this relationship? Do I really want to wait until marriage? Do I really want to find my identity? But it's taken too long and you have all these questions. You're like, I don't have the time for this. Like, I actually have to study for a test tomorrow, so why would I even bother trying to find who I am and trying to find my purpose in life? And so that's why you have to go through this process and make sure that you're patient with the process, that you're making sure every single day, even in these hallways, even when you're going out to the stores, that your every step and your every move is in a place of purity. It always points back to the heart. So whatever you're going to do in your process is going to determine your heart posture. If you're going to wait those 5 to 7 business days, or if you're going to say, you know what, just forget it, I'm not looking for the package anymore. I know we like to go back to the source, and we like to go back to Amazon and say, did they ship it yet? When am I going to get this? And I know I'm anxious about it all the time. Like, I really want my teddy bear, like, this giant, like, teddy bears. Yeah. Whatever, y'all so lame. So after this process, you have to pick up the package. It's finally time to pick it up. And that's why I say people usually quit right here at the process. They quit in those 5 to 10 business days in life when they're like, I don't want to find my purpose anymore. I'm tired. People are bullying me. Life is like just life sucks. I don't want to wait anymore. I'm sick and tired of this. And so people quit here usually, but I encourage you guys to go get that promise. Go get that thing that you were meant to do. Go pick it up because it's about to be delivered to your door. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter how hurtful it gets, because literally, I'm going to tell you a quick story. I was born premature, so I'm a miracle child, and my name is Gracelyn for a reason, because my mom was like, by the grace of God, I was born. So it's a really like beautiful story how that worked out. My mom was like, she was going to quit. She was like, she told the doctors, you know what, just take me off the medicine, because she was going through so much pain and hurt, and she was like, she quit at the process. What if the doctors took her off of that oxygen? What if the doctors took those IVs out of her arms, you know? And so it's like, I was the promise. I was that thing that she was waiting to pick up, but what if she quit? What if she said, you know what, forget it. I'm tired. I'm just gonna let them take me. But we were just talking about it this morning, how it's like, if we just wait and if we just push through, even through the pain of, you know, being an athlete, even through schoolwork, even when we have like that F in the class and we're like, I gotta get it up to a D, pass the class. It might hurt, it might be really, you know, hard and really painful to push through, but it's worth it, because at the end of the day, you're gonna get that D and you're gonna pass, and you're gonna be so happy, because it's gonna be like, and I'm not encouraging you guys to get D's, but you're gonna be so happy when you're picking up that report card, like, yes, I did it, I'm not gonna be held back next year. And so, testimony, actually, that happened to me. It was not good, but make sure you work hard in school, make sure you get those good grades, because you don't wanna be struggling in that process at the end of your journey, like, man, am I gonna get the D? Am I gonna get or am I gonna fail the class? Like, you have to make sure that every day, as it applies to life, every single day, you are moving toward purpose. But what does that look like for your life? What does that look like for others' lives? It looks like making sure that you're measuring everything with a pure heart. You're measuring everything with goodness, everything with righteousness. And so with my lifestyle, that meant not having sex until marriage. That meant virginity for me. But for you, it may mean something totally different. I mean, maybe even if you've done things before, even if you're currently doing things, don't beat yourself up, because I'm not better than you. I always like to say that purity is not perfection, purity is progression. And so even with purity, people think, I just came here and spoke the other day, somebody told me that they thought purity was virginity. And I'm like, well, to a certain extent it is, but it's really about your heart, and it's really about what that looks like for you every single day. Not simply just an act that you committed, not simply just something that you did, not even just something that you said, but purity is everything that you do. Purity is a lifestyle. Purity is what you are actively pursuing every day. So you have to ask yourself, what am I looking at? What have I made a decision toward? Where is my source coming from? What am I going to wait in that process? And am I going to get that promise? Am I going to wait long enough to actually get to that place of purity? Am I going to wait to get to that place of purpose, where I've been called to do this thing, where I've been destined to do it? So you have to ask yourself in life, what if you got you in the mail? What if you got you in the mail? What if you had to go and pick yourself up? Would you say, you know what, return to sender? Or would you say, I love this. This is the best gift I've ever gotten in my life. What would you say to yourself? Because I know right now, I would say, oh my goodness, this is the best gift I've ever gotten. But about 4 years ago, I would say, nope, take her back, take her somewhere else, let her, I want to order something else, something new. And it's okay to say that. It's okay to be at that place at pickup where you're like, you know what? I have to reevaluate my life. I have to say, I got to look at, something different. And it's okay to reevaluate and go back through this process. And you're not exempt from this love that accepts you to reevaluate and accepts that question in your mind, like, I don't understand and I want to redo and I want to reevaluate my entire life. That's totally fine. But now I want to ask you guys, would you want you in the mail? Or would you be like, no, take her back, take him back. I don't want this lifestyle. This is too much for me. And I don't like the way that I'm living. I don't think I'm living in purpose. I don't get why I'm alive. I feel like all my friends don't like me. I feel like I don't fit in anywhere. So what does that look like for your life? I want you guys to ask yourself that every single day. Would I accept me? Would I love me? You know, and you should love yourself because you're worthy of that love. You're worthy of that that standard that you're setting for yourself to wait until marriage. You could say it today. I mean, it's not necessarily the normal thing to do, but you can say today, like, you know what, I want to start fresh. I want to start new, and I want a new life today, and I want to live pure. And that doesn't mean necessarily virginity, that means just doing better in life. So it's always about other people. It's always about loving. It's always about protecting and making sure that in this process, you're asking yourself, would I accept me? Would I love me? And so that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.